Last video we were able to create and insert a record in the songs table. So now we're going to update the record in the songs table using the ID of the song and other parameters which will pass to it. So if you see here, let me just open it up. We can see that here we have the update method called. The ID is the fifth song, that's the song with the ID 5 actually. Then it has the we're going to change the details now and make the user ID to be 3, name is gunshot, and genre is jazz. So if we come and see that here, so what song has the ID 5? And that is this one here. This one has, for the user that owns his user 1, his name is Hello and his country. So we're going to change it into this user ID 3, name gunshot, and genre jazz. So how did we write that? So we did as usual, connected to the database. Then we set the update at to be the current date time, and we only interested in the year, the month, and the day. That's why we did it this way. Then we're going to set these details. So the ID, we're going to set it to the set song method up here, which will set the ID and other details to the class attribute. So it's going to set that along with the user ID, which it will get from the param, and the name and the genre, then with the updated at, because we are doing the update. So then it will run the context manager as the cursor. We're using context manager, it created the cursor, so it's through the connection. Then it runs the query and says update the songs table, set the user ID to that, the name to that, the genre to that, updated at to that, where ID is that. So we are expecting 5 values, and that's why we have these values here, and this is just to prevent SQL injection. So the first one in the first position is for the user ID. That's why we have the class user ID. So what was set here is going to take it here. The class name, it will take that one here and feed this. The class genre, it will take it here and feed this. The class updated at, it will take it here and feed this. And the class ID, which is what was passed here and fed here, will take it here and feed this to where this ID. Then we'll now execute the query with the values and we'll commit here. And once that's successful, we'll print out record updated successfully and return true. If there are errors, it will catch that, and finally it will close the connection. So we also wrote the test script here, which says test update record. So tests for updating records in song database with the ID, the user ID, this time the name is flex out, and genre R&B. So that's the same thing it did here. It was able to test whether the result is going to be a boolean true, whether the result is true, and whether it returns the result. So this time I'm going to run the script here, or let me say I'm going to call that method, and I will expect it to update the record in the table. But I'm also going to do the test this time so that we'll see how this test works. So let me run this. So it says record updated successfully. So let's go and check that. So initially we have, let's see what we're changing here. So we're updating ID 5. So record ID 5. So initially we have one hello country. So let's refresh the server as usual. We come down here to songs and let's view that. And now, if you see 5, we have user ID has been changed to 3, the name has been changed to gunshot, and the genre is now jazz. And you can see there's a difference between the created art and the updated art is today. So it's changed that. So that is how to update our records. In this case is the song record in the database table. Now let's run the test. So we're going to see how to run this test here, and to run the test we are going to is going to run all these tests, even down to this one we are yet to do. So it's going to run all of them. So I'm going to do that from here. But when you're running the test, you always have to make your reference as from the outside here. That's from the parent container of the project. So just outside here. So to be sure, we're going to say part working directory. So let me use that in lowercase. And now it gives me exactly where I want. That's here. So I'm going to now run Python, because I'm going to run the unit test with Python, and -m unit test. And where is it going to reference? So it's going to reference the tests package. That's going to reference this folder, and what we want to run is this test underscore song.py. So I'm going to write tests slash test underscore song.py, and I'll press enter. And now we can see that it was able to run this entire test. And now it says fetch completed, record updated successfully, record deleted successfully, record created successfully. So it was able to test all these methods we had in our song class. And now it says run 5 tests, and it says okay. So it means that everything turned out right. So that's basically how to update records in the Postgresql database using Python and PSYCOPG2.